Ladies and gentlemen, every single year for the past few years, we have been top 100 in the world for club value within the first few weeks, and we've had a few million coins. This year, I plan to be no different, so if you guys want some tips on how to make some coins, we're going to go over that this video. If you do enjoy, smack the like button, subscribe if you're new. Let's get it. So first and foremost, I love silvers. If you've been around this channel at all in the past 5 years, you will see I do a lot of silver trading, both with silver commons and silver rares. Before I get into these filters, I'm going to show you a leak real quick, which is going to help silvers have even more value this year. So if you don't like leaks, look away, but trust me, this is going to be super helpful for you. I'm going to go to Twitter real quick, and we're going to look at Foot Sheriff. He posted a leak for some icons that are coming out as silver cards. Now, I'm not going to sit here and read through every single thing for these. If you want to take a screenshot of this, if you want to pause the video, you can for each one. But for this one, you need Brazilian players for Grincha, at least 6. Eusebio, you need, it looks like 6 Portuguese players, 100 games, that's wild. Full starting 11 for the Bobby Moore card of English players. And then we have one for, wait, is that the Bobby Moore? Then we got a Charlton one. Where is it? Using English player, win 12 out of 20 matches in the, okay, so that one's different. So you're going to need English players. We also have a goalkeeper here that you're going to need a minimum of 3 silver players. So people are going to start combining some of those together where they're going to use silver, maybe Brazilians if you only need 6 there, silver Portuguese cards, along with just silvers in general. So we got 2 groups of people who are going to be doing this. The people who get the game with the pre-order in the next few days or so. We're going to have people on the web app starting to get these cards. But then we're going to have people a week after the pre-orders go out next week when the game's officially live for everyone. And they're going to be wanting these cards, and you can very easily sell to them. So I'm going to show you kind of a few filters I'd rock to kind of figure out the prices of stuff and then how to know what to pick up for what price, if that even made sense. I don't even know if that sentence made any sense. But what I usually do is I go to the transfer market. I'll go to quality silver. I sometimes go in and put silver common or silver rare. I just start with a simple max buy now, 200 coins. There are times on the market where every single silver common is 200 plus, whether that be for daily SBCs, marquee matchups, crazy SBCs that come out. Regardless of what the case is, I just kind of do this to see what the market's currently looking like in terms of the value of cards. I'll take a look to see if there's any top leagues, top nations, high ratings like 70 pluses. Then I'll start putting things together like England. We'll see, okay, within minutes of things expiring, it's very quick now to get closer to the 59th minute. I'll look at ratings, I'll look at leagues, I'll add in like a defender here. So I see one card that's a 72 rated. Not really a bunch there. Besides that, I'll look at something like this Jones, compare price, and I'll see if there's a difference in terms of the value. Obviously, this is the end of 25. People really aren't looking at these cards. But at the start of 26, you're going to have people that have their favorite team. So they're going to want to buy their favorite players from the favorite team. If they're an English fan, if they support a club in the EFL, you got League 2, you got League 1, you got Championship, you got Prem, you got a ton of squads that you might not think have a lot of value, but people want them for their evos. They want to use their favorite team for the objectives that we just showed you, so you can mix that with the nationalities, all that stuff. And if you find something specific, like let's say all England silvers are, let's say 400 plus, you could just then sit there on like a 300 filter and just snipe, and everything that you pick up would be guaranteed profit. You can look at certain positions if they're going for more or others. That's a good way to do it. Another way I like to do this filter, but for bidding, is I'll just do silver common. I'll do max price of 150, and then instead of a minimum buy now of 200, I do a minimum buy now of 300, so some of the lower end stuff kind of goes away. I just kind of keep an eye on things, again, if it's a top nation, if it's a top league, if it's a 70 plus rating. I essentially look for any reason someone might pick these cards up. If the stats look crazy, you could use Footbin or FootGG to see heights of players. So if there's a player that's crazy height, for example, there's a bronze rare goalkeeper that's 6'11". If you can Evo him, that is going to be absolutely massive, and people are going to go crazy for that card. So I'll just kind of do this filter. I'll go through, and if I already know things are mainly going for 200 plus, I'll just mass bet on everything I see. But if I don't know what it's going for, I'll just quickly compare price, get an idea of what it's going for. Even if I don't place a bid, I'll just kind of look to see, oh, a Belgium card might be up, 70 pluses might be up. Let me then go put in that filter and bid on all those together. So you can put this together with, again, like England and stuff like that. I could do this, and if I know all English players are going for at least, like I said before, 400 to 500 coins, I could just mass bid less than that on all these cards. If we win some, we win some. Same thing goes for sniping. If you win some, you win some. Don't need to list for the lowest price if you know there's additional value to them because people need to get an Evo done or people want to get objectives. You can lazy list a little bit. I would recommend, though, if you're very low on coins, don't lazy list as much. You want your coins working for you as best as possible. If you can get close to a full transfer list early on of things selling, regardless of how much they are, constantly have your coins moving in and out of your club is going to be huge. So that same thing applies to other SBCs that come out on a daily basis. So daily SBCs, there might be things that link really well. You might have marquee matchups. So if you know certain leagues, good teams in those leagues are playing each other, like let's say the Belgian Pro League has two of the top teams playing each other the next week, you could assume that maybe Belgian cards would be needed in marquee matchups. You could go and invest in Belgian cards. But with this kind of method, the profit we make, I also reinvest in terms of club stocking. So instead of me waiting for leaks, instead of me waiting for getting an idea of what nation might be the next thing to go up, I honestly do this filter, and no shame, I just mass bid on everything. I chuck it all in the club, especially as I'm making more and more coins. I forget about it, and whenever an SBC comes up and stuff shoots up, I then go into my club, see what's up in value, and sell them then. So instead of investing in just specific nations, specific leagues, I kind of get a little bit of everything. And then once that league's up, once that SBC's up, whatever the case may be, I just then sell them for huge coins while also flipping duplicates for profit too. Next thing you can do, same thing with silver rares. Instead of 150 bidding, the lowest you can bid is 250 on silver rares. Nice thing with these is if you're bidding on basically 70 pluses or really any of these, the quick sell value is pretty close to what you're bidding. So as an investment, if you just club stock a lot of silver rares for 250, you can't really go wrong. Worst case scenario, you have to quick sell for a few coins lost. Best case scenario, things are needed in Evos again, objectives, all that fun stuff, goes extinct or goes for crazy coins. I mentioned this in my other video, but I'm going to say it again. If you guys are really trying to make coins with silvers and bronzes and low-end stuff, you don't need to go in on stuff that you might think is good for an Evo when they're already at like 2,000, 3,000 coins, buy like 15 of them and try to sell them for 5K when they go extinct. Instead of doing that, we take way less risk. We pick up a bunch of the lower end stuff and just random stuff for 150. And then once those things get to 400, 500 coins, some of them 1,000 plus, that's way safer to sell those on and reinvest rather than to risk it all on just a few cards or a certain position. There's times where you can do both at the same time. If there's something you're confident about and you want to take a risk and go on some cards, you can, but don't make it a habit to have only the silver cards in your clubs be the things you're going all in on and risking. Play it a little bit more safe. I'm telling you, you'll make a bunch of coins that way. Same thing works with the League SBCs. So Libertadores and Sudamericana cards are always a fun one to go in on. Usually we don't get League SBCs until a few months into the game. So if you look at what's League SBCs right now, if you don't know what League SBCs are, they're not technically called League SBCs. I believe they're the Premium Mixed League Upgrade. We've done them so many times over the years, but I always forget their names. Yeah, Premium Mixed League Upgrades. You can just go in and take a look. Usually they copy and paste these pretty closely year to year. Packs usually stay relatively the same too. So if you're wanting an idea of what might be a tradable pack, what might be an untradeable pack, what could potentially be needed for kind of this SBC, this is also a good way to invest / trading early on, even without it being out yet. That could be a good tip. So same thing applies to bronze rares. There's going to be a lot of Evos. There's going to be a lot of objectives for rares. There's going to be marquee matchups early on where you only need a certain rating so people can put in bronzes. There's going to be daily SBCs where you don't need anything crazy. So there's going to be additional value there. What I like doing for these is I just look at the minimum price of bronze rares. Usually early on, everything is close to 200 coins. So I'll just sit there and mass bid 150 on everything. Again, if it's a good nation, if it's a good league, stuff like that, there's additional value to it. If you want to try to snipe those for 200 coins, you can. If you want to mix those in with like Brazilian cards, Portuguese cards, English cards for the Evos that we were just talking about, that's going to be your best friend too. And if you can get that mixed with a good team that might be someone's starter squad, or if they're doing an RTG and they are maybe a Charlton supporter, and they want to make an EFL championship squad with Charlton players, there's a nice one with good pace that's a bronze rare. Go for it. Snipe it, win it, and feel free to either hold it or flip it for decent profit at the time. Another one to go in on, gold commons. So gold commons, usually these have a value no matter what every single year. This year was a little bit different. I don't know exactly why that's the case. Usually whenever we had a repeatable SBCs on Monday, like a player pick, some sort of upgrade pack, like the first few weeks, it's normally like a 78 double upgrade. Sometimes you get like an 80 plus, 81 plus upgrade. Usually whenever those come out on Mondays, gold commons go from winning them on bid for 300 to 350 with the buy now at like 350 to 400. Usually their buy now will rise to 500 plus coins. Usually sets pretty nice at 500 where you can invest for the 300, 350 and sell comfortably for 500. This past year, that hasn't happened as much. Doesn't mean you can't do it. I still would do it. But if you start mixing in things like top leagues, top nations, it's going to be a lot more safe, especially for SBCs, marquee matchups, all that other stuff we talked about. Evos, that's just going to be your best friend for trading and investing. Like the same thing with the silvers. If you guys look for filters, if you look at, let's say, English commons from the Premier League that are center backs, you might have a very specific list. If you notice, there's teams in off leagues. I don't believe we have advanced SBCs this year, but if you notice, there's only, let's say, one English gold common in League One. You could then try to snipe cards like this because when they're needed for an SBC where maybe you need 11 of the same nation, but you can only have so many through certain leagues, these cards are going to be way more valuable. So that's something to keep in mind too. And yeah, there's one more thing I want to show you guys. This one's going to be a little bit different this year. So chem styles, whether to put on players. People like doing that early on where you buy chem styles, put them on the player, gives them additional value. And if there's maybe a difference in price between, let's say, the lowest center back with a shadow on it versus the price of shadow versus the price of the card, adding those together, if you can make some coins in between, buy it by yourself, put it on the card and sell it for even more profit, sweet. But something I like doing is I like going to chem styles specifically after squad battle rewards, div rival rewards, foot champs rewards. Whenever the rewards come out, once they come out, you'll notice that there's an influx of these on the market, and usually you can start sniping them right after it comes out for a discounted price. But if you wait an hour after rewards, you'll start seeing a bunch of open bids for stuff like this. So shadows have crazy prices. Sometimes they're extinct, sometimes they're 2K, sometimes they're 4K. Regardless of what the price is, you kind of get an idea of what the price has been. You get an idea of what the price is before rewards come out. And then you kind of just keep an eye on these sort of things. Once rewards come, you see if you can win some snipes. But then that hour after, we just mass bid. So some people might put a minimum price to bid and go from there. I usually just compare a price like this, and I'll try to find stuff like this on the market. And you'd be surprised with the amount of cards, especially chem styles, that are listed on the market during that time in bulk. You can go through and sometimes mass bid 200, 150 on shadows and win a decent group. The likelihood that you win every single one is very low. You'll probably miss out on most of them, but you'll find there's batches that you win that you have no idea how you got them for that price. You can make easy coins on them in the moment, or you wait a little longer until they rebound in price, and then you sell them on for even more profit. Or you use some for yourself, you put them on your players for your team, or maybe you put them on a card that you think is going to be worth more. Maybe it's an inform center back, you put the shadow on it, you sell it when that informs out of packs for a little bit more profit, you know, that sort of thing. So those are the main tips we use early on. Like I said, it's a mix of mass bidding versus a mix of sniping, mix of selling things right away versus storing things in the club. I like doing all that stuff early on, and it allows me to get top 100 in the world in terms of club value within those first few weeks. But like I said, usually get 1 million to 2 million coins relatively quickly as well. And then for me, the goal is going to get 10 to 25 million coins throughout the year. Usually we have 5 to 10 mil by team of the year. And then after that, depending on what our goals are, we either go all out for just making packs, we don't care about coins anymore, or we're going to double down and say, hey, let's get as many coins as possible to these big investments. Early on, you don't have to worry about all that crazy stuff. I like keeping it simple with my trading. I like showing you guys lower end tips so everybody can do it. But even when you have hundreds of thousand coins, even when you have millions of coins, I'm telling you, silvers, bronzes, gold commons, there's still a ton of coins to be made in those. And I primarily trade with those even when I have a lot of coins. I'll add on higher things. I'll add on icons, informs, promo cards, flips, all that stuff. But my main base doesn't really change. And once League SBCs come out, once repeatable SBCs are out, and things have more value, it's even easier for us to flip these lower end stuff. So if you did enjoy, do me a favor, smack the like button, subscribe if you're new. If you have any other questions, feel free to put them in the comments. Just a reminder, the game's coming out. I believe Wednesday is when I'll have access to the web app, so that'll be the first FC26 stream you'll see for me. That'll be the first FC26 video where we're actually on the game. You'll see me go through my stuff on the web app, and then once the game fully releases, so for me, I live in the United States, so for me, when it's new content for you guys, it's usually in the evening if you live in the UK. For me, it's like the middle of the day. So I usually don't go live until 4 hours after new content. That's when you can expect me to go live most of the time. I will have off of work Friday. I will have off of work the following Monday. So I'll be able to go live earlier those days and give you guys more content. But in general, that's when you can expect me to be live. That's when you can expect me to kind of be on the menus. So if I notice some kind of late night finds where, hey, UK goes to bed, there's way more bids that you can win late night. Or hey, once UK goes to bed, way less stuff on the market for you to win. I'll kind of give you guys some of those in and outs as well. So yeah, I'm super excited for this year. We'll have very specific trading tip videos come out once we get access to the game. This is going to be helpful as a video to give you kind of a base to build on. But once the game actually releases, we'll have more guides to help you guys out. And then once we start getting repeatable SBCs, once we start getting a bunch of different things we can grind on the menus, I'll be making a ton of videos on that as well to help you guys not only make coins, but grind and make packs as well. But yeah, I'll see you guys later. It's been your boy MumboElite. I'm out. God bless.